the chat. The inevitable has happened, people. I was wrong. I said Thomas the Professor would be here till the end of the season. The human shield that Enoch loved to use. But today, as you all know, Thomas Frank has been sacked. So what's next for Tottenham Hotspur? Is it an interim? Is it someone within the club, someone from out the club? What's the plan going forward next year? They can't have a plan yet, can they? It must be just to stay up. But listen, I've got a guest in straight off the bat today. Sheriff's he's doing something. I don't know what he's doing, but he said he'll be here about 5:45. So I've asked Phil to jump on just so we can chat and, you know, get you lot involved in the chat as well. Just see what Phil's opinion is of the shenanigans that's going on at our club. What a load of old bollocks, people, isn't it? Sorry to swear, but I'm in straight away. Get the first one in. Phil, how are you, mate? Lovely to see you.
Oh, I'm fantastic. I'm fantastic, Cookmaster. You know me, man. I'm listening to Bon Jovi, living off a prayer, brother. That's all I'm gonna say, man. This club, yeah, honestly, just when you think it couldn't get any worse, yeah, they just get worse, and it's comical at this stage, man. It is literally, it's like we hired a manager. We don't give him a left winger. We don't give him a ball playing midfielder, and you say, let's go and attack. Yeah, how's that going to work out for you? And then when you play defensive football, that's too pragmatic. You can't write it, mate. You just look at Tottenham and you think, you know what? You need an EastEnders drum roll. It's just that up and down, man. It's that doom and gloom every week, brother.
Yeah, man. I mean, Phil, we've got to the situation where we are right now. I mean, how do you see the situation? Because I thought personally, and I said to you just a minute before we came on, that I thought they was going to just shield him unless he got an hammering from someone like Arsenal next game. He gets beat 4-0. Yeah, he probably would have gone. But I thought they was just going to shield him. But then when you think about it, Phil, you're right what you say. He's sacked, but they're not going to make any promises to anyone that they bring in. They've got no wiggle room, really, as far as players are concerned, unless you want to go down the free transfer market route to get a couple of players in. So what is the difference between Thomas Frank being here and someone else coming in?
Nothing. And do you know what? You said it earlier, there, the shielding. He's still a shield because we just wasted the whole January window to hear that the club couldn't find anybody. So he's still a shield in a way. So really, truly, if they were going to sack him after the window, why waste time? Why waste that whole complete window when we know we needed a left winger and a ball-playing midfielder, and we needed more than what we were given? And what was criminal, Cookmaster, is we sold Brendan Johnson, whether you like him or not. He was a wing option.
Yeah.
And we brought in a player in a completely different position. So what are we doing here as a football club, as a recruitment? What is that?
It's almost like it was back to front, Phil, isn't it? Because it's like we said about, like, you know, the Gallagher coming in. You know, Bentancur got injured, Gallagher came in. Now, if it had been the other way round and they'd have got the ball playing 8 in and then they'd have got a Gallagher, everyone would have good, well, I can see what they're doing there, I get it. But they've just done it backwards and still neglected other areas of the football pitch. You know, we're talking about on the pitch now. They've neglected other areas, you know, and now some of those areas have been neglected for nigh on 18 months.
Yeah, the left wing position, right, means that we're lopsided. We have to play on the right-hand side. And from the second game of pre-season, you could see that everything was coming down Kudus' side on the right-hand side. once you nullify the right-hand side, there was nothing coming down the left-hand side whatsoever. And we've been shoehorning players in that position all season. And this is why Thomas Frank's been trying different players in there to see if he can get anything out of the left-hand side. It's been that lopsided at times. And even when we played Odegaard there, you can still see that he shows more on the right-hand side than he's a left winger. So you still haven't solved the problem of the left wing. And even, like I said, with the attacking football, without a ball playing number 8 yet, how are you supposed to engage in attack? So the midfield looks static, other than Xavi Simons, who's the only technical player in there. And this guy's only just coming from the Bundesliga, so he's not used to the league yet, or the country. And that's not even using an excuse. That's just basically the facts. Man's come over. We don't even know how he's settled in the country yet. Yet the pressure's on him to perform. And the window itself was shocking in the fact that I heard this myself, and I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but to get in a loan signing of Duran on the last day of the window, we had to cancel the contract of Mawani in the first place to get him in the door. So I think that we've reached a loan limit. Well, I'm not sure, but I think we've reached a loan limit, mate. We can't get any players on loan until we actually cancel a loan.
Okay, Phil. So how many have we got on loan now? Paulinia and Mawani? Yeah, the two. I always thought you was allowed 3, Phil. Did they change that rule?
I think it's 2.
Wow. Okay. Fair play, mate. Fair play. Well, I'll have to see what happens with that one, won't we? Because do you, Phil, I've got to ask you quickly, do you see them getting someone in, or do you just think they're going to go with Hettinger?
Mate, I would get Dynamo in at this stage, man. But yeah, I can see them bringing Ryan Mason back. Ryan Mason is just being relieved of his duties at West Brom, so he's available to come back. He knows the club, he knows the players, so you might as well give it to him at this stage.
Oh, I don't know, Phil. I don't know about that.
No, it's
Phil, we need to win games, Phil.
Right. I'm going to say this, Cookmaster, yeah, because I'm sorry, I'm a big stickler for this one, and it's like this, yeah.
Go on, mate.
Right. If you buy relegation level players, yeah, do not be surprised you become a relegation side. We've been buying relegation level players for time, right? And every excuse has been used under the sun to describe them, but they're players from relegation level clubs. So don't be surprised pressed down by the relegation zone. This is the level of the players that we've been bringing in. And I've been harping on about it for years and years and years. This is why I wanted Levy out. Not for the trophies, but the level of players that were being brought into the club. They weren't good enough to what we needed to be.
That's great. That's a fair comment, Phil. You know how I feel about it, you know, since Pochettino, probably before that, the steady decline of the player that's been coming in. Phil, I want to take it back because I know Thomas Frank's gone now, but the game was still last night. I take it you watched the game. You know, after a really, really, for me, poor first half, right? I'm sitting here watching the game and the second half kicked off. You know, you're commentating on the game, but going round in my head, I'm thinking, well, I'm the manager. What am I saying at half time? You know, what am I doing to get these lads, you know, riled up enough to at least put the effort in to make it look like they're having a go, to push us up the field a bit. Do you know what I mean? And they come out, Phil, and it was pretty much like the first half. Do you know what I mean? And then we got the goal, which is fine. And straight away, we sat back again. And I couldn't work out. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, we're 15th here. We need a goal. You know? And then West Ham were winning 1-0 at the time, Phil.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm thinking, my God, Mark, all this is coming true. It really is coming true. You know, and we went 2-1 down. Phil, we didn't offer a lot, did we? Let's be fair.
No,
after we went 2-1 down. You know, we didn't offer much.
No, but the thing is, yeah, right, we were saying, if you listen to Arsenal fans here, they're saying the same thing about Arteta. He'll score a goal and sit back and try and defend. And this is the manager that they brought in, a pragmatic manager. So I expect him to be doing that. Damage limitations. You hope to get a 1 goal and then stay in the game. I'm not expecting anything. This is the problem, Cookmaster. Yeah, I didn't expect anything from the club in the first place in the beginning of the season. I washed my hands of the club in the summer. I said, yeah, that any manager coming in there is going to have to take a look at these players and get rid of some of the players. They have to go. This club is stuck on nostalgia and sentimentality. The players aren't good enough. They have to go. I have no allegiance to any player in that squad. I will sell them all in a heartbeat, and I'll take a loss. I take a massive financial loss on most of them to get rid of them because they are that bad. Yeah, all right. I'll take anything. A bit like what Arsenal did with Özil and Bamiyang. You're gonna have to take that loss, man, to get rid of some of these players because they're not the level that is required if you expect to be higher than you are, because they're not consistent. It's not just the ability it's not just the work rate and the effort, because we hear a lot of them, they work hard. What about their ability on the football pitch? What do they offer on the football pitch?
Well, they need to offer a bit more than running round, Phil. That's exactly. A dead cert. You know what I mean?
None of them, I look at, are reliable. I look at Solanke and I think, you're not a prolific goal scorer. You've never been a prolific goal scorer except for one season in your career. You've never been the main man. So what makes me think that you're good enough to take Spurs to being a top 6 European club? You're not that level. Same with the Pigeon. And then you can go around the different parts of the team, like Vicario from Empoli. Empoli were down in the relegation zone. What we're doing here? But you're expecting miracles from these men, yeah? And any manager comes in, he's got to try and raise them up. You know what I call it, man? The Rumpelstiltskin effect. It's like you're telling the woman to turn the straw into gold. It doesn't work, dude. You can't polish turd, man. It is what it is. But I agree with you. I looked at Thomas Frank last night, and Spurs got back into the game 1-1. They could have gone one way. They could have gone on attack. And if they did go an attack and Newcastle ripped us at the back, because remember, we've only got 2 fit centre backs, and they ripped us open at the back, then people will complain and say that Thomas Frank got us pammed. So he was damned if he does and damned if he doesn't. In that retrospect.
I get it from that point, what you're saying, Phil. But like, I was watching the game, and I'm not talking about all-out Ange-style attack. I don't mean it so much like that. But I mean, we didn't create that much. We didn't, it's not like we really pushed them back. Do you know what I mean? And we were swinging bloody hundreds of crosses in the box, and they were just coming back out again. We didn't. It was almost like, we're 2-1 down, and I'm thinking, look, we need a goal now. If you're losing 2-1, you might as well lose 3-1. You know what I mean? I was at that point then, and I'm thinking, just move them all up 5, 6, 7 yards. Give them a chance when the ball does go up. What's the point of having one geezer with no one around him for 30 yards? It's just pointless, Phil. And I just thought he might have, even if he moved one of them up a little bit, just so Solanke had someone close to him. But there was nothing, mate. And I was sitting there and on the watch along, and I was just so frustrated that we was at home to a team that comparatively have been out of form. Let's be fair. They haven't been in form. And, we're at home, a big game. We know that if we can get the 3 points, it helps us right out, and I didn't see the effort, Phil, even the effort. I just didn't see the passion, nothing, mate. And all you've got from Frank on the sideline is this, and this. His jaw going like this constantly. Do you know what I mean? And, I just felt like I wanted someone on the touchline to get hold of someone and say, come on, tell them. Do you know what I mean? And I just don't seem to get that effect from it. But he's gone now. He's gone, Phil. And I don't think really, in the grand scheme of things, especially the way we lost last night, that they could keep him any longer, mate. I mean, as I said to you, I thought they was just gonna ride along until the end of the season. Hope he got us out of it. Kept us up, and then probably move on from there. But I don't know what we do now, because as we've all said, ENIC have wasted the transfer window when they could have got whoever was the manager a few more players in to help him out. You know, they didn't. They've gone, I think, down the road of thinking maybe they can get, you know, 3 or 4 of these back before the end of the season. And I think it's biting them in the arse, mate. And now they're down to the last scenario of what do we do about the manager? So they've sacked the manager, which is fine. The thing is, Phil, like you say, whoever comes in, it will be the same restrictions, the same whatever. But Phil, who is that manager? Forgetting that side of it just for a minute. Who is that manager that comes in and gets that, I don't know, that word, the bounce, I suppose, which would get us that three wins and a couple of draws, whatever, just enough to, you know, see us through, Phil. I don't know. I'm just on football talk there, really, if you know what I mean.
I'm going to take it to my stratosphere, but yeah, I understand what you mean. You want that, you want that Highlander thing of it's better to burn out than to fade away. That's what you want. You want to go down in a blaze of glory, Cookmaster. I can understand it, brother. We were 1-1. We had just scored. And you're thinking, ride that momentum, while you've got it on the crest of a wave and keep going in attack. I can understand that point of view, Cookmaster, very well.
Yeah.
Right. And what I'm going to say is, yes, we could have gone that way. Yes, I would love to have seen Spurs go that way. But who was going to create for us, Cookmaster, other than Xavi Simons? He's the only technical player we had. Remember, we have no wingers. But Gallagher wasn't here enough playing on the right because we had no wingers in the squad, man. This is round peg. Do you know what I said last season? This is round pegs in square holes, and then asking for them to perform miracles because they're in a position and they're playing in a position they're not used to. And sooner or later, you can't keep getting anything out of it because they're playing in the wrong position. And it's not because of necessity. It's not because of, well, we have them in the team. They have to play in that position because we've got no one else in that position. So what exactly is a manager supposed to do with that? And this is why I say there's no strategy behind the signings that we make. There's no strategy behind, and oh my word, as we talk about that video, because that's a beautiful, I love ENIC videos, man. ENIC videos are the best. Because ENIC videos, there's always a skeleton in the closet, man. Something fly out from one of their people's mouth, and it's so beautiful to hear it. I heard Lang say there was only 7 injuries, Cookmaster. I swear there's 14. But he can count, isn't he? I can't. You know what I'm saying? There's 14 injuries, but my bad said there's 7.
Phil, you heard him wrong, mate. He went 47. 47.
Well, I love the videos, man. And what was the other one? Oh, I couldn't find anybody in world football. That's funny, isn't it? Because this year happens to be the one year that I wouldn't be saying that because there's a World Cup in June. And then you can tell me that you can't find a left winger, brother. You can't tell me there's a ball player midfielder because near enough, there's so many countries in that World Cup finals this year in the United States, Mexico, and Canada. All right, that you can't tell me that you can't find one left winger or one central midfielder. Yeah, I smell a rat there, mate. I think the timing is so perfect in the fact that Thomas Frank, he basically, when he came out, and defended them, was basically digging his own grave. And it's like, this was always coming. This was inevitable, like Skynet in Terminator. This is inevitable. This was going to always happen. You know, whether which way you cut it, it was always going to happen. This is why I stopped caring who the manager is. Because I just look at it like an endless conveyor belt, Cookmaster, of roll up the next one, and you just see them like line up in like a kind of thing, You know, like when you see one of those Star Wars things where it's an endless conveyor belt, one of them ones, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, the endless conveyor belt, I think they're in trouble, mate. I really do.
Well, you have to look at it like a perception of, what do you think the outside world looks at that, and looks at the managers that coming in and each one of them failing? After a while, you look at you look at Conte, for example, yeah, he's left Tottenham and gone to Napoli, and whatever we said about him at the time at Tottenham Hotspur, look at him, he didn't even need that much, more than what Tottenham had given him to go win a league. Does that say it all? Mourinho won Roma's first trophy year in Europe, and he was hired before we got a replacement for Mourinho. So the outlook of the club isn't good. 72 days without a manager. I keep saying this to people. 72 days without a manager. You haven't learned from that. 510 days without a signing doesn't look great to players looking and thinking, I can go build something there. We had players leave because they weren't doing anything at Spurs. Yeah. And that's not changed there since the days of Teddy Sheringham in '97. Who said that after when he went to Man United, I had to leave to go to United, yeah, because I wasn't winning anything at Tottenham Hotspurs. So guess what? Nothing's changed in those years.
Absolutely, Phil. No, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. And this is a good one from Kate as well. Before I bring Brian in, good evening to you, Brian. Thanks for joining us.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Afternoon, he says. Why is Johan Lang still in a job? Someone please tell me. You know, Frank's gone today. As far as I know, Lang's still there. How is this geezer, let's be honest, still in a job? As well as some of the you know, I don't know, I called that Mackenzie geezer out. I said to him, Tottenham, give me a job for a month. I'll bring you players. Yeah, I'll go and find you players for you. Because I don't know what this geezer's doing. I don't know what Lang's doing. Forget them for a minute. All them 13 twats up there. I'm talking about the scouting. Lang, Mackenzie, and whoever everyone is that's doing whatever they're meant to be doing. Yeah, I just got to tell all of you, you're shit, and you know you are. Right? Get out of our club, all of you. Drive me insane. It's a joke, Brian, right, Phil? I'm so pissed off. Right, not just with that yesterday, but everything these people upstairs are doing. Yeah, they take. Colin Cross last night went from Wales with his kids, yeah, so they could have a family night out together to watch their beloved Spurs.
To add, his kids came from Australia.
Yeah, £900, and then they've got the audacity to say to him, oh, you need to put your umbrella in a locker, mate, when it's pissing down with rain. And not only that, oh, by the way, Colin, it's a tenner. What the... Brian, take over for a minute, mate. And Phil, go on.
Oh, mate, I've been on so many rants today. First of all, big up to you, Mark. Big up to you, Phil, brother. Big up to you.
How you doing, my brother?
Big up to everyone in the chat. Listen, what more is there to be said? I've been quite rampant on Twitter today. This football club is a disgrace. Actually, wait, let me scratch it. This business club is a disgrace.
Yep.
Simple maths equation. ENIC, the Lewises, Vinay, Lange equals the death of Tottenham Hotspur.
Agree. They
Pure
all have to go.
Pure and simple. I could go right through it. Lange was absolutely brought in. Aston Villa were absolutely lauding and delighted that he'd left the club. Spurs see a quick director of football that's available that is shit at his job, but is free. In you come. It doesn't matter what manager comes in. Will their football opinion matter? Will their transfer targets be recruited? Will their vision of the football club be given the pathway and time it needs? No, it won't. No, it won't. We are in one of the most sorriest states of affairs we have ever been in. I have said time and time again, when Martin Jol came to this football club, God bless you, Martin Jol, he took Spurs, he was the catalyst for all this change.
Yeah.
And throughout that time, we moved up and up and up and up. We overachieved and overachieved and overachieved. Did ENIC and Tottenham Hotspur say, you know what, look what we're doing when we're not even trying. Can you imagine what we could accomplish when we try? No, we don't do that. we have gone all the way back to Martin Jol. Probably worse than where Martin Jol took us over. We are in the biggest mess we have ever been.
Agreed.
And I've seen it across all social media platforms today. Trolls have come out the woodwork like it's Christmas Day. They've come out like it's Christmas Day to attack fans that wanted a manager to succeed, rather than rather than calling out the disease that is this ownership.
Right. They get away with it again.
We have got a fan with these trolls that come in, and that, mate, listen, I'm so cut off from this football club. I am so disengaged. I have never, ever, ever felt like this about our football club. Ever. Sorry, business club. Business club. Mate, this is getting shaved off today or tomorrow. I just said to Ilana, it's going. I can't be dealing with it.
Go on, Brian. Get it all off.
Mate, I can't be dealing with it, mate. Look what I've got alopecia on the top half. Or should I say Tottenham Pisha. Enough is enough. This football club, business club, is in ruins until we take out every single one of the hierarchy, because you can keep replacing the managers as a deflection tactic, as Phil will know only too well from when being one of the first protesters when we started the NFL. You can keep sacking managers. You can keep calling them out. You can keep doing it when the pressure comes on top and it's about to come on top of you. You deflect from the issues. Should Frank have gone? Absolutely. Did I back Frank? Absolutely. Did I want him to succeed? Absolutely. Did I think he would succeed? Absolutely. Did I get it wrong? Oh, hell yeah. The biggest faux pas I've ever made. But does that cut off from the main issue? Absolutely bloody not. Absolutely bloody not.
That's what I call it institutionalized failure. Because you look at it and you think, if you're going to hire a manager, bring the manager in and give him what he needs. Otherwise, don't hire the manager. Leave him alone where he is. When you look at what was it? One of the suggestions, Robbie Keane. He's in Fernavarus. Leave him in Fernavarus. I don't want Robbie Keane in the club because I don't want to see him ruined as a manager. Leave him alone. That's all I'm going to say about managers now, because I look at them and I think sometimes they're better off where they are than to come into this club here, because this club breaks managers, because what they do is they bring the manager in, the manager has a good manager bounce, fans think that's the norm. It's not the norm, because these players can't maintain them levels. Then they throw hissy fits in the dressing room. You hear all the noise, and then all of a sudden the transfer window comes up. This is your moment to back the manager and give him what he needs. He's never going to get it. And then sooner or later, the manager can't work with what he's got, and he gets sacked. And then we go round this roundabout over and over again, round and round and roundabout, where we stop only Enoch now. I am tired of this roundabout.
It's not even that. You've just got to look at David Clark's comment that he's just put in, and he's absolutely bang on the fucking money. So many of these fans, so many of our fans think that this squad is good enough, and they go, "Oh, wait till Sarr comes back from the AFCONs. Wait till this one's back. Wait till this one's back." They're not fucking good enough. Go look at our midfield right now. Right now, I'd go back to the 90s, and I'd have David Howes in this midfield, a player who got what it was to play for Tottenham. That whenever he was on the pitch, gave 110%, blood, sweat, and tears. These players are not good enough. Oh, but they're young. Give it a couple of years. How many times do we keep hearing that? How many times when Liverpool and these big clubs invest in youth, they buy one youth product and bring in 3 top stars for them to learn off? You look at our football team now, we are absolutely reliant on youth. And all the youth playing together, and they're chucked in at the deep end. David Clark, this squad is not good enough. 75%, and I'm being polite when I say 75%, are not good enough for this team. And until we start realising that, then what happens, happens.
Has anyone else heard anything about this?
About what?
Harry's given the green light to stepping in for the rest of the season.
Oh,
I
no.
saw a little. He was on Sky Sports News, mate, earlier. He didn't actually say that, but he was like, I'm 79. I've been in the gym for 3 hours. Then he changed it to 2 hours. Then he said, "Oh, it might have been an hour." But he said, "I'm fit as a
Just
fiddle."
go window, out the window.
Yeah. But he said, "I'm fit as a fiddle," and whatever. He said, "I'm available."
Oh well, fair play.
Yeah,
fair play. There you go. Does anyone see that type of thing working? I feel like that, you know, as much as, you know, everything that you lads have been talking about, the bigger picture and all that, yeah, and them up there, yeah, I'm fully in agreement with what you're saying. You know that, but what I want to know is, chaps, and I've got to tell you, I care. I said to Phil before the thing, as much as I want Enoch out, right, and I really do, same as everyone else, I do not want to be relegated.
Of course not.
Do you know what I mean? And the ship's sinking, big style, right? And for me now, you've got people up there that are not football orientated. I look at them and I think you're probably going to take the cheap way out because you've got to pay Frank to go. Do you know what I mean? And like, for argument's sake, Hettinger's already at the club, right?
Yep.
So do we go down that route and see what happens, or do you go and get an Harry Redknapp and maybe bring, you know, an ex-player in or a couple of ex-players in, like you say, Brian, get the club. You know what I mean? And try and galvanise these fellas just to go and get 9 points from somewhere, 12 points from somewhere. You know?
The sad thing is, Mark, look at our fixtures. I don't see where these points come. We've got to be sure. I don't see where these points are coming from. We just need someone in to steady the ship. Mm-hmm. Every week, try to match or do better than West Ham are doing.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
Harry Redknapp comes in. I've said this all day today. The guy's going to be 79 years old next month. And as I said, from learning what I'm seeing with my dad's health going downhill and whatever, they're about to celebrate 50 years of marriage the year after next. My parents, please God.
Yeah.
I want my parents to enjoy their life. Harry Redknapp should be, if he comes in as manager, it'll be great to put an arm around them and do it. We need a coach there. I don't want to see Harry Redknapp have to deal with the stress of Tottenham.
Agreed.
Harry Redknapp to come in 3 days a week. When he had Paul Merson at Portsmouth, he famously said, because he didn't want to move from Birmingham, Harry Redknapp said, "Don't train up. You train 1 day a week. One day a week. Just turn up on match day," and he was there. If Harry Redknapp could do his man management from home and not have to come down to Tottenham every single day and be there on match day, fine. But put in a coach. Harry Redknapp is a 79-year-old man next month who has given everything for football. He's earned the right to go on media when he wants to do what he wants. The stress that comes with this job from this ownership, as much as I would love to see him, I'm talking personally about Harry Redknapp side of football. I just don't want him. Like I said, if he comes in, he will get the job done, as in make the players feel $1 million. But I think it's goddamn. How bad is it that we have to go back to a 79-year-old man? And Enoch are probably only sniffing around him because he said he'd do it for free.
Yeah.
Do you know what I feel? I look at that and I think I feel sorry for Harry Redknapp, you know. But fair play to him if he wants to take the job. But I don't want him to have the job. He should be enjoying his pensioner stage. He should enjoy that. You don't need the stress of Tottenham Hotspurs. And Cookmaster, yeah, you said it earlier. I as a fan, I don't want to see Spurs relegated. But if Spurs do get relegated, that's on Enoch, I'm afraid, because they didn't hear the lesson from last year. We finished 17th, but won the Europa League. You didn't learn the lesson. There was a painful lesson for them to learn, but they just blamed Ange of all of it. And they didn't rectify the squad. They didn't do enough. They knew that we didn't have a left winger coming into the season. And it's been a calendar year now. Do you remember when September closed, we're going to get one in January?
Yeah.
What happened to that one? We still haven't rectified the left-hand position. So we're still lopsided. And selling Johnson, whether we liked him or not, that was a wing option. We have no wingers whatsoever, so we can't even play a wing system.
Yeah.
It's so bad that we've shoehorned Gallagher, who is a central midfielder, onto the right flank. What are we doing here as a football club? You're one of the 8th richest club in the world. Yeah, I said this to Savi this morning. You're one of the 8th richest club in the world. Yeah, I've seen clubs who are in the club 30, yeah, having a better transfer winning than Tottenham Hotspurs. But what are we doing here? They buy what they need. When Palace sold a defender, yeah, they buy a defender. When Villa sell a winger, they buy a winger. Not at Tottenham Hotspurs, you buy in a completely different position. Yeah. So obviously, you're not learning the lesson. Obviously, you're not learning that you need to buy experienced professionals who've been there, done that, and wore the t-shirt. And because you're not learning it, you're getting this lesson. And I didn't want to have to see it, but unfortunately, this is the choice they chose.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's such a shame. I don't know. Did any of you think that and hello Mark. Mark's joined us. Big up to you, fella. I hope you're all right, mate. Thanks for doing the show and all that.
Been at work, mate. Been at work.
Yeah. Let's bring Mark in with your view about the sacking Mark and where you think we should be going with it, and you know, and the danger that Tottenham are in now of relegation, because I think it's massive. You know, Phil, Mark, I don't know if you know, Brian, we've been banging on about this for about 7 or 8 weeks, about the threat and what would happen if we gradually get dragged down, and have we got the fight once it did get tight, if it got tight, to sort of get out of it. For me, that performance told you everything last night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and it's not the first time we've seen that dross, especially at home. You know, I went to the West Ham game. I couldn't believe what I was watching, to be fair. You know, so...
You can say the Arsenal game. You can say the Arsenal game. You can say the Chelsea game. You can say so many games, man.
Right, mate. But the first thing I've got to say is, what time was he actually sacked? Because I was with someone with no mobile signal. Nothing.
Just after 10 o'clock your time, I think.
10 o'clock?
Yeah, there was a meeting or something, wasn't there? A meeting. Someone said there was an emergency meeting, and then about half an hour later, well, I was live when I had this morning, but I was so far behind in the chat, and everyone in the chat down the bottom's going, look up, Cookie, and I'm about half an hour behind in the chat, so I'm flicking the chat up, and I've got people sending super chats in saying, Cookie, he's been sacked, he's gone. Typical of us to be on live, have a massive scoop, and I didn't even know it was going on because I can't keep up with the chat.
At least you didn't miss a here we go after a 9-hour stream because you need to go to the toilet.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, at least you were in the toilet.
My word.
To be honest, right, it's typical Enoch. You want my opinion? It's another one they brought him, set him up to fail, and he has failed. So on your bike, Sonny, we'll get the next one in. And
so who's the next one for you, Mark? I'm not talking about the end of the season. We'll get onto that in a minute because we know where that's going. You get your 30 seconds, don't worry. Right. But what do Tottenham as a club, as Enoch have run out of options now? They've sacked the manager. Now it's the biggest decision that they're going to have for a long time because of the situation that we're in. Yeah. What do they do now? Is it an interim? Is it someone within the club? Someone, a player that may come in, an ex-manager, you know, a player to come in with an ex-manager, like Brian said earlier on, maybe. I don't know. What do you think?
From what I've seen of Sky Sports News today, they were interviewing Harry. I saw Harry on there. Tim Sherwood. And Tim Sherwood said they need Tottenham people in there. They need Tottenham people in there. And they need Tottenham people on the board level as well.
Yeah.
On the board level. None of
Agree
this,
with that.
none of this accountants and financiers and all that, just thinking about that, just thinking about the bread. Get people in and know what they're doing. Because none of them got a clue. None of them got, personally, I agree with what Brian and Philly said. Like he's 79, nearly. Like,
yeah,
would you? I feel sorry for him, you know, and I wouldn't want his health to suffer. You know what I mean? But, and I'm sure, I think it was Brian said it. We just need to do better than West Ham every game.
Yeah.
Till the end of the season. You know,
just
take where we are at the moment, or even a place lower, same as last season, and then all in for somebody in the summer. But there's got to be a plan, a proper plan. They come out and say, this is what we're trying to do. This is what we're aiming to do. None of this, here you go. Then sign a couple of kids and Conor Gallagher as a desperation and say, well, there you go. You know, there's no plan at Tottenham. Never has been. Never has been.
I've got to ask you, Mark. I've got to ask you. You know, we know you're large on the Poch bandwagon, yeah, and I get it. You know, we spoke about this a lot. We spoke about this a lot, right? At the same time, right? To me, Poch coming back with these players is just one. I don't think it'll work for him because he had his level of player that he had when he came in, you know, originally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a lot better than what he's got now. Now you're saying about, you know, there's got to be a plan, and you know, I can't even see him coming back under this lot because Mark, the problem is with it, right? They lie so much about everything, yeah. Unless you can get them to write it down on paper, and you've got a copy in your back pocket, yeah. Words mean nothing to Tottenham.
Of course.
Absolutely nothing.
Now, you know my master plan. I said it last night or the night before. I want Poch to come back. One, he's universally loved within the fan base. Yeah. Universally. Some people have said they don't want him to come back. I understand that. You know, I understand that a lot of people don't want him back because it's like, don't go back to your ex and all that sort of stuff. But my master plan is, if he comes in, right, and he doesn't get the players he needs, I pray to whatever God you believe in, Allah, whoever, I pray that the fans don't turn on Pochettino, they turn on Enoch.
But they will, Mark. This is the thing.
Yeah.
This is the thing. This is what Spurs do. Look what changed for Spurs in all the last few weeks. It's fairly obvious where the blame should be put for a long time, but even more so after the West Ham game when the board said they couldn't make a decision whether to sack him or not, so they kept him. All the pressure should be going up there. All the noise. But what happens? All the noise, social media, all the noise, talk sport, all the news chat is, we got to get him out. We've got to do this. Get into the ground. Yeah. I made louder noise in that stadium last night, and I was in my bedroom watching it alone. This fan base are weak. And I don't mean, and when I say this, because I'm not, the fans that say, I'm not going to protest, I don't want change, I think, blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with you, but you know what? I respect you a lot more than a lot of this fan base because you do what you say. You say
you just cut in, Brian. Anyone who says that, I don't want to protest and all that, then they got the club they deserve.
No. It's deeper than that. They haven't got the club they deserve because they have stuck to their guns and said, protesting ain't for me. I don't believe it. The ones that have got the club that they deserve are the ones that run their mouth and go, yeah, we got to force change. We got to get them out. We got to put loads of pressure on. When's the next protest? I'm going to be there. We've got to do it. Let's turn up. And then they don't. Those are the guys. Philly was there with me from the beginning, from the NFL protest where we started the group I was with. And there were only a few of us. Me, Ryan, and Graham that started the training ground.
That man there deserves so much love.
We got ridiculed. We got abused.
Wait a minute. That man Daigle deserves so much love, yeah? Graham. That Graham is at every single protest, and I have nothing but admiration for Graham, you know, because that man walks down the street. He's a season ticket holder, and he walks up and down that street, and he protested every single one of them. And people like him, yeah, don't deserve the club to be the way it is. No. But these people at Tottenham Hotspurs, yeah, right? I call them Blofeld. I said Daniel Levy's Blofeld. My man hides in the club, yeah, and we don't see him until something good goes on. We don't see them people there, and it's the same way that we are now. When Thomas Frank was in trouble, where was Vinay? Where was Lang? And where was Paratici? None of them had his back whatsoever. So at the end of the day, this manager was on his own, and he looked like he aged 20 years because I think that he said exactly what every manager said in different way, shape, or form. Potts said it 100 times here. We have a fancy house here, but we've got poor furniture. Mourinho said it. Different managers, same players, same results. Conte says it, and the first one after the Mora game, I'm not a magician. The other one said it. Anne said it. I had to go back to the drawing board. Now you've got Thomas Frank. How many managers have to say the same thing before the club get the message? They're not hearing it, dude. And they're not hearing it because they know they're making money, whatever they do. And it's the poor fans here that invest their time and their hard-earned money here that I feel sorry for. Because they don't deserve this. But unfortunately, yeah, this is the way that ENIC have chosen to run the club. And I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just saying it how it is.
Yeah, like I was just saying, the fan base that say they're going to do shit and turn up. I've been at protests when there's been 4 people. I've been at protests when there's been 20 people. I've been at protests when there's 200 people. We stand out there. We've taken all the abuse and everything. Been there when we said we would. So many times, oh, we're going to come and support you. We need to do this. Then when push comes to shove, I'm talking about the home match day going fans only, not as a whole. They are nowhere to be seen. But they'll be all across social media today, going nuts at the board, nuts at the owners, nuts at Lange. We need change, we need change, we need change. All right, run your mouth. Spurs Arsenal, next game. Perfect opportunity to call this fucking board out and go for the jugular.
Yep.
Will they fuck? Will they fuck? They'll forget. They'll get. It's like ENIC have got that Men in Black thing, where they just do the neutralizer, whatever it's called, and go, right, you're going to forget everything that's gone on. There's a new manager in charge. It's a brand new day. Let's go. And all Spurs fans will forget until this poor sod has to deal with their crap. So the fans that say they aren't going to protest, fair play to them. The ones that say they're going to do something and don't, they have the football club they deserve. They have the football club they deserve.
Fair play.
Do you remember when I met you for the first time? I think it was 5 years ago. Do you remember the team I talked about that day? Brian Daigle.
Mate, a lot's happened since then. Go on.
All right. Since that day, yeah, I talked about Aston Villa 5 years ago. Do you remember now? And I said Aston Villa would go past Tottenham Hotspurs. All they had to do was show a little bit of ambition, and they would go past Tottenham Hotspurs. On that day, I said, and I'm standing next to you and Rez, and I said that straight up. I said, Aston Villa, watch that club, because that was a year after they told Levy to go do one over Grealish. Look how far they've gone in the space of 6 years. And they haven't got any oil money. All they showed was ambition and buy for the right positions. It's not that hard to do. You just put them to make a mountain out of a molehill. That's the problem. I look at them and I think, you're making it harder than it is. And there's a whole heap of excuses. January is a difficult month. It's a difficult month for everybody. How can they do their business that you can't?
Man City didn't find it difficult.
Man, I'm tired.
Yeah, but the thing is, Mark, you're not allowed to say Man City because Man City have got the money, even though we spend the most on FFP and PSR.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, so have we.
Before Guehi went to City, what we needed a left-sided backup for Van der Ven. What stopped Spurs putting in 20 million for him? Not saying he'd come, but there's a defender, an England international, a leader. Why did Spurs go 20 million in?
There you go. Well, we don't.
Could have even used it as part of the Johnson deal. Could have even done it as part of the Johnson deal, but no. This football club is a disgrace.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, Brian. That's why when we did the watch along yesterday, I never really got upset. Not really.
I still get upset, Mark.
Eh?
I still get upset, mate. It's just in me.
Mark, you went apoplectic, mate. I thought you were having a heart attack.
I'll fuck it, and I'll keep going apoplectic, Mark. I'll keep doing it, mate. You know. I'll tell everyone. Tottenham's like having a kid to me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And I love Tottenham like I love my kids. At the end of the day, and I'm just, I've done the video, Mark. I don't know if you've seen it, Brian. The dilution of Tottenham.
I haven't watched it.
Yeah. That's what I see when I look at Tottenham. I see the people that own it, the people that are running it, diluting it and diluting us down so far that we're almost down.
They do enough, mate.
We're in that. Go on, lads.
No, I just say
the
winner.
They do enough to keep us relevant.
If you look at it, yeah, right. The only winner of the situation right now is Enoch. Because every time they raise the prices up, we're still in this mess. So they raised the prices up for the honor of just watching this mess go round and round and around. Now Salva says this, yeah, right. It's an organization, yeah. Right, after 25 years, you should be a well-oiled machine, right? You should be able to run. You should be knowing what's going on throughout your business. The fact that Spurs aren't a well-oiled machine is a massive issue. Yet they charge you more than Arsenal fans for the honor of watching this.
Yeah.
What are we doing here? This is why I say they milk the fans, and I feel so sorry for the fans, the match-going fans, because if you can't see that the squad is so much worse now than under Pochettino the first time with Dembele. There's no Dembele to hold the ball up and bring the ball forward. We don't have that engine. We haven't replaced that in 6 years. Most clubs do that in the same year, but we waited 6 years. How long did we not replace Eriksen? We had no creativity because until Madison came along. That's not 4 years.
Sonny left 2 years ago, mate, and we're still waiting for his.
Exactly.
To replace him. Right. I guarantee you what will happen in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
The new manager will be announced just before the season ticket renewal date. Guaranteed. And I won't put my life on it. I'm not that ready. I won't put my life against Tottenham for anything. But I would gamble it'll be Pochettino. So all the fans, here you go. By the way, the season tickets have gone up 2%, whatever it is, but they'll be there queuing up. Here you go. Here's thousands of pounds. You know what I mean?
Mark, surely if Pochettino comes back, like you say, he's got to get some sort of assurances, isn't he? Because
that's his problem if he doesn't.
Well, that's true. To be fair, I think anyone who's coming into Tottenham now has got to have some sort of assurances, isn't they? Because
I wouldn't trust that lot as far as I could kick them. Throw him.
And this is the problem, isn't it?
Right.
He's
got to have in his contract, he's got to have a breakdown of what money's available. X and X for transfer window and transfer window. And he's got to get assurances as well that number one, Paul Mitchell comes back. Get rid of Lange, whatever his name is, bloody useless. Get rid of him, get Paul Mitchell back. Immediately.
First of all, yeah, I'm going to say Paul Mitchell. Right, you take Poch needs reassurances. The person who needs reassurances, yeah, if they were to come back, would be Paul Mitchell. Because he said it and he left here. The job turned into a nightmare. Why did it turn into a nightmare would be why I'm asking. What made the job become such a nightmare? Because he said it was his dream job here, turned into a nightmare. What made it a nightmare in the first place? And how do you stop it from being a nightmare? Because for me, I think that he was told that he can't sign certain players that he wanted because there was no money available. Now, if that is the case,
sorry,
then that's
Phil,
impacting him as a person.
I just need to make a phone call very, very quickly. So I'm going to drop out, but I'll be straight back, all right?
No worries, mate. You're okay.
No worries, right.
Thanks, mate. Go on, Phil. Carry on, mate.
Right, so I think that we have to find out, what turned that job into nightmare. And if it is the fact that he was impacted in the market by the club's hierarchy, then that's another issue in its own, because he needs to be able to bring in the players that he wants to bring in, that he's given the money with no ties or anything, that he's able to say, look, I want to spend the money where I want to spend it on the players that I want to spend it on. Whether the wages, that's on him to decide. Not for them to impact it. That for me would be
Philly, let me just say, right? Enica here, is it likely they're going to sell up?
No.
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think so. So we're going to be lumping.
Why would you sell up a cash cow? Why would you do that? If you're guaranteed to make money,
we're going to be lumbered with them, Philly. We are going to be lumbered with them. Right now, hang on a minute. We're going to be lumbered with them. So whilst they're here, if Poch and Mitchell were to come back as a pair, I'd hope they both have the common sense to say, right, we're running the football stuff. Keep this out. Keep this out. You give us a budget and we'll do it. Not poke your nose in. You look at who was at the place for Arsenal, the one that was at Brighton?
Trossard.
Arsenal paid 20 mil, 20-something mil.
Yeah, something like that. We offered 13 or something.
We went in with 12 or something like that. Yeah. You know, all that's got to stop. I keep harping on and harping on and
keep repeating it, mate. Keep repeating it.
Keep going. What the hell did we build that stadium for? You remember when the bloody thing was being knocked up in about 2018, 17, when it was virtually, they just had to put the fittings in and the structure was up. Daniel Levy come out and he said, next level allows us to pay the top wages.
Just going to get a drink, Mark. Just going to get a drink.
No, that's all right. Allows us to attract the top players. What do we do as soon as it opened? Most of the top earners start leaving. Hugo Lloris left. Hugo Lloris left. Harry Kane left. Sonny went. Even Højbjerg went, who was on a fair old wedge. And we've replaced them with kids on 2 and 6 a week. It's a disgrace, mate. It's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah, but notice how each one of those players, near enough, all of them have gone on to do something better. And here's one for you, Mark, because I know you like these ones, right? Is that when Kyle Walker got to the semi-final of the Champions League, with Man City, right? What he said, was, in my old place here, it wasn't like this. We didn't have them pressures of having to win every week. And I sent the video to Sava, and I was like, is that a dig at Tottenham Hotspurs? It wasn't like this. When I'm at Man City, there's a willingness to win. And within a few years here, when Kane went to Bayern Munich, I heard the same thing going on. So it's the atmosphere within the club itself here. This is why I said it starts from the top and it goes down. It's where the people, there's no pressure on the players to have to perform. And so these players here have some bad attitudes. And I said this over the summer 100 times here. I didn't want Mawadi because Mawadi I look as a mercenary. My man's not a good forward here, but he'd come for the money. And really, truly, it was a panic by the last window. And boy, are we seeing it this season because he had no interest in playing for Tottenham Hotspurs because he had his heart set on going to Juventus. But Juventus pulled the plug and went and got a Pender on the last day of the window. So we were just left with, it was like any striker would do. And this is why I said I didn't want to see that. Because that means that even if we got Champions League and winning the Europa League last season, what did we actually learn as a football club?
Nothing.
When you look at the final last year, yeah, Mark, yeah, and you say Man United and you say Tottenham, yeah, who do you think the winner is of that match? Because I'm saying to you now, yeah, it looked like Man United won that match to me. Because look at what they've done with their squad. Look at what they did with their forward line. We didn't even do that.
They bought 3 forwards in the summer. You know, they spent a fortune, mate, and we did nothing as usual. The thing is,
so what good was the Champions League? What good was
waste of
qualifying for
time.
the Champions League? Exactly.
The thing
This is
is-
what I said.
The thing is, Philly, ENIC just do enough to keep us relevant.
Right.
But they've not done enough this time. They've not done enough. We're on the precipice of getting bloody relegated, for God's sakes.
But we had it last season, Mark. So they didn't learn from last summer because we had it last season. So those who don't hear have to feel it, Mark, because they don't hear that we were down in the relegation zone last year to compete in the Europa League. So now they're feeling it now because we're in a harder competition where the players have to play 2 games a week.
Yeah.
And we have players here who are still recovering from last season, like Kulusevski. He hasn't played a minute this season. Madison has been out since the summer, so we've had lack of creativity all season. So what exactly are you looking to create when you've got no creativity there?
It's like you said, Philly, right? If you'd looked at the 2 teams, you'd swear that Man United won that Europa League Cup final.
Yeah.
Because they bought three forward players, didn't they? Completely revamped their front line.
Yeah.
And there's us scratching about.
200 million, apparently. It was all on who won the Europa League. The money that went from that would be the spending money for the next season. United got beat by Tottenham, the worst United team you've ever seen. What do United do? They go and change their manager, spend £200 million. Yeah, the manager didn't really work. It did to a point, but it didn't. So they've got Carrick in. He got a tune out of them for 3 or 4 games. They showed what they are capable of.
Yeah.
Drew at West Ham, you know. Thank God. Thank God Benjamin Tesco scored. Oh, my God. Thank God for Tesco's. Yeah. Sainsbury's, you're out.
Yeah. No, but like, it's always the same. You look I'm sure we'll come on to this in a bit, so I'm not. But you know when Pochettino was there, when we were that close to winning the Premier League?
Yeah.
They didn't give him the funds needed to get us over the line. There was 2 years in a row when we could have done it. And they never gave him the funds. They made the excuse, oh, the money's in the new ground. Stuff the new ground, get us a Premier League trophy.
That's it. No, not even that much, but just buy better quality players than you're buying now. If you're buying relegation level players here, don't be surprised if you become a relegation level side, because this is the level of player that you're bringing into the club. So it's not a surprise here that they're not good enough. And this is the problem I've said all along. The players themselves aren't good enough. Other than hard work here, give me one thing that a lot of these players do. Give me an ability that most of these players have, because a lot of the players don't have technical ability. They're not good footballers, Mark. They're athletes, but they're not good on the football. And I watch them and I think, I've got nothing. It's like I'd rather watch paint dry on a Saturday afternoon than watch Tottenham Hotspurs. And after 5 minutes, I would fall asleep, and I go back and I watch the game again, or after I fell asleep. They're good for insomnia, I swear. When you have one of those restless nights here, just put on a Tottenham game, man. It's easier than counting sheep sometimes, brother. Trust me.
Is it time for a 20-second break so I can play my tune?
Yeah, I think the time's coming. I did want to introduce this half decently, to be fair, because I was trying to give Mark his moment of glory as the time comes ever closer that Maurizio could be on his way back. As everyone knows, his biggest fan is sitting there. He's already told me privately, and I know he won't mind me telling you that if it was possible, humanly, he would have his babies. He has told me that. He's there, and I introduce now Mark Cousins, that's got a little ditty, I believe, tune maybe, that he would like to play.
I ain't sure where the speaker is on this.
To us, the audience.
Tell me if you can hear it.
Go on, then. No.
What's going on here?
No.
Hang on.
It's magic, you know. Maurizio Pochettino. I had to do it for you, mate. Do you know what I mean? Got to give it the big one for you. You know my feelings on it, Mark. But you know my feelings, Mark. But lads, what do you think? Mark's all in the summer on Maurizio. Is that where you two are?
Nope.
Oh, difference of opinion. Come on, lads. What are you thinking? Talk to me.
Bill, you want to go first or should I?
You can go first, my man.
And by the way, before you start, Brian,
Yeah.
please hit the sub button, people. I haven't asked you yet. Yeah, hit the sub button for the free channels, for Brian Tottenham on tour, for Philly's film channel, hit that. And please hit the like button. 50 likes required. And we're not there yet.
Would you like a current subscription count, mate?
I don't know. What is it?
760.
Absolutely superb. Keep hitting it, people. We're on the way to 800 and then 1,000. And then who knows? But subscribe to all the channels. Hit the like button. Over to you, Brian. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, and I'll go for Chinwag Spurs, who said, how are we in a position to turn our noses up at Poch? Who do we think we are? I'm going to be very, very simple where I stand with him. I think he's a great manager. I'd love him to come back one day and finish the job. Do I trust him? Do I trust ENIC anywhere near? Do I think he'll get the support and backing he needs from ENIC? No. Do I think ENIC appoint him as a quick fix and get the fans behind him? Oh, look, they're going to be all at one and loving him, which means we can carry on doing what we're doing him and just say, look, we gave you what you want. Now be with it. If we had right now, if we heard that Tottenham Hotspur had new owners, I am 1 billion% bring Poch home. 1 billion%. No ifs, no buts, no maybes. Poch is here, new owners, give him the money, see what he can do. Let him bring Paul Mitchell back with him. This is a very, very simple fix. The ENIC 101 deflection tactic. Bring in a manager that will appease the fans so then we don't need to do anything about it.
Of course.
Now, bring in a Nagelsmann who'll bring in fresh ideas because ENIC will just say, well, look what you did with the youngsters. Look what you did to develop those players that you had at the time. That's what they'll say to Poch. You got Gray, you got Bergvall, you got the Sousa, you got this. Make them better. Not here you go. What do you need? What do you want? And we don't need that. Like I said, if new owners come in right here, right now, Poch all day long. Poch is an ENIC 101 tactic, and if people can't work that out, let's appease the fan base. The fan base will go, oh my God, he's magic, and it will take the heat off of us so we can carry on doing our bullshit and doing things cheaply and not actually doing things as a football club. Bang on, Lee. Bang on. I love Poch. Poch gave me the second greatest joy of being a Spurs fan. The football we played, the style we played, the greatest gift Tottenham have ever given me is Paul Gascoigne. And that will never change, ever. Poch did incredible. Poch comes into an ENIC-run football club. You watch. You reckon the transfer window will be explosive and spend loads of money and bring in record signings? No. We will bring these youngsters through. Look at that incredible youth team we've got. ENIC, a Poch under ENIC, no thank you. A Poch under new owners, absolutely fucking 100 billion%. But Spurs will do what Spurs do. ENIC 101 and expect miracles from Poch because what he achieved last time when he had Paul Mitchell beside him and he was inheriting a crop of players that are on the cusp of greatness already. No way do I want Poch in under ENIC. Nope.
That's fair play, Brian. It's fair play.
I don't really, Brian. I don't really, but he's around 2017, 18, 19. He made me proud to be a Tottenham fan. I could go over to my local pub and I could walk in with my Spurs shirt on, and there was still piss taking, but not a lot of piss taking, and it was, "Oh, we got you, son. We got you, Sunday. Fancy a pint on the game?" And they'd be like, they'd sort of look at me and they go, "All right, then." I'd say, "Do you want to buy me it now?" You know, and that's what it was.
Thank you very much. I'll take it from here, yeah. All right. Pochettino, yeah, it's all about nostalgia for me. You've actually capsulated it properly, Sheriff, as you always do. It's nice to come in after you on this one, yeah. It's like this, right? It's nostalgia you're crying for. It's the fact that under Poch, yeah, was the best time we've had the Spurs fans under ENIC for a long, long time. It's like when we had Redknapp and Martin.
Yeah, Redknapp, Martin.
Yeah, but the thing is, really and truly, yeah, if Poch come back to this club, yeah, he will always be thinking there will be knives in the back for him. This man went a calendar year without a signing. Every manager wants a signing at some point to push up the squad, yeah. So the board let him down. So naturally, that process will always be in his mindset that the board will let him down again, which is why I don't want Poch back. Because why would you go back to somebody that's treated you badly? But he craves to finish something at Tottenham Hotspurs, not under this ownership. They'll just do him up a kipper like they've just done Thomas Frank. I don't want to see that for Pochettino. And that's one of the worst things that I could see, for fans who like Poch, to see their man, because what they were going to look back, it's the first time that come in. The first time he came in there would never be captured again. This is why I say, it's like going back to your ex, because there's a reason that you split from your ex in the first place. Something didn't work out. So you move on from your ex. You can't be living on your ex all the time, because that means that you're forgetting why you split up in the first place. Something didn't work fundamentally. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it's not guaranteed success. And the majority of the time it doesn't work, which is why it's always best to move on with your life and just realize that something else is better. But I understand, if Spurs fans crave that we want to remember the good old days, but we've gone a long way down since then. And we have to understand that the perception of hiring managers, sacking managers, not giving them what they need, not giving them their time, has made the club look really bad in the eyes of prospective players coming in. Why would you want to join a club in a mess? They want to actually. Players want to achieve something in their career. They want to have something to show for it, win a trophy or something like that. We don't even do that.
No, the only thing is, with Poch, if I was Poch, I'd say, all right, if I come back to Spurs, I want it in my contract that every window I get a minimum of to spend as I wish, minimum. And I am the football the DOF, hopefully Paul Mitchell, get the final say on everything. Call ENIC's bluff.
Yeah.
Put ENIC in a place where I get 150 per window. I have authorization on sales and coming in. You cannot get involved. You write the checks and do that. I do the rest. Then again, if that was to happen, I'd have no problem. But do you reckon ENIC would sign that?
No. Brian, this is what I'm hoping. Poch comes back. He's clever enough, because let's face it, we all know Poch coming back will immediately take the heat off them upstairs for at least a season. And that's all they do. Deflect. Bring another shield in. And Poch is a big shield if they were to bring him back. I want him, like you said, to have it in his contract. I decide what goes on the football pitch and the players' ins and outs. You have nothing to do with it. You just sign the checks.
Do you know how
if it's financially sustainable, you know what I mean, within their rules.
Do you know how sad it is? We as a fan base and we as a collective, and us here and now, are having to say a manager would need to put in his contract that he doesn't believe the board and only something set in stone.
Yeah.
But I mean, how sad of a time are we at when this is we are in a real tough situation.
But the thing is, Daigle, it has to be in stone. You know why it has to be in stone? Because this club can't do gentleman agreement. Look at Harry Kane. If you have a gentleman agreement with the club, they renege on it. So therefore, it has to be set in stone. That's how sad it is. Because if you as a gentleman say, look here, I want to make a gentleman's agreement with you, they don't stick to it. So therefore, it has to be in stone. And this is so, like you said, it's so bad.
Harry Kane was handcuffed to a radiator, mate. Harry Kane was virtually handcuffed to Levy's radiator in his office.
I'd love it if it came to the point where every single manager turned us down and made it apparent that no one wants to come in with this board.
Yeah.
I would love it. I'm going to show my age now. If anyone's watched that movie, Brewster's Millions, and try and save some of it or spend some of his money, he tries to go into politics and says, vote for none of the above. I would love it if every manager that Tottenham went for said, nope, I don't trust the board. I'm not coming here. I'm not going to put my career on the line. I'm not going to big up Spurs. I'm not going to put I don't believe in this board. I don't trust them. I'd love it if every single manager turned around and said, nope. That'd be the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, but you know that humans aren't like that.
It's guaranteed payday.
Because Enoch can offer that much money that someone will say, yeah, all right.
It's a guaranteed payoff, man, for any manager. Yeah. But the thing is here, the perception of the club just gets worse and worse and worse. Yeah. And because it's getting worse here, the level of manager that comes in will just get worse as well. Because why would a good manager, an up-and-coming manager, want to put himself at Tottenham Hotspur and damage his... It's not worth it in the end. That's what I looked at. But yes, you get a guaranteed payday, but some things are worth more than money. And your name to me is worth more than money. You could always make money somewhere else. But the thing is, if your name is mud, then who wants to take a chance on you? And that's the problem if any decent manager. If you go to Tottenham Hotspur, you're not going to get what you need. So therefore, it's just a wasted journey. And this is why I said with Conte, you might as well just left Conte alone, because that was just a powder keg waiting to happen. And I'll actually give you a manager I want to see here, because people like the drama and like EastEnders like Spurs here. Might as well just get Zerbi, because that's a guaranteed firecracker to go off, mate. Because I know, so when he comes in and sees the player levels that we've got, he's going to blow up just like Conte did. So that's another show.
Yeah, Phil. On De Zerbi, I did see someone put in the chat earlier that De Zerbi had been mentioned, and he'd apparently said no.
Thank God.
I was going to say, you never watched a coffee company earlier, did you, Matt?
No, I didn't. No, I was out.
No, I know you was up there a lot, man.
Oh, this way, if Zerbi comes into this football club, you will never see me on YouTube, Twitter, or I will not watch a single second of Spurs until he's gone. Spurs will be dead to me.
It'd be nuclear, bro.
Honestly, that man comes in, I draw the line. You won't see boo from a goose. I won't talk Tottenham. I won't watch a single second of any single game. I'll check the scores, but you will not see me on YouTube, on social media. I won't talk Tottenham in groups on you or on WhatsApp. I will have nothing to do with this football club if that man steps foot in the door. End of.
Fair play, Brian. Fair play to you, mate.
Yeah, I watched that video earlier, Brian. I heard you say that, to be fair. I'm just looking at managers here, and I'm thinking they're going to pick up a manager who's out of employment, but the door is quite close, because most of the managers are in a secure job, and other managers are getting ready for the World Cup. So any manager of rest resource, like I said earlier, who's looking to come in at Tottenham Hotspurs? You'll be looking at somebody like a Ryan Mason coming in. That's what I'm looking at, interim manager coming in. That's the level I'm looking at. I think it could take the role, but isn't that like a Martin Yol? Aren't you trying to hope a Martin Yol comes through when we had
I'd have him back yesterday.
No,
mate. If that, you know what I would love to say, Johan Lang, fuck right off. His replacement is Martin Yol.
Mm-hmm.
Do that, bang. They win so much. They get so much praise if they do that, but they won't. Like I said, the whole De Zerbi thing, like I said, I feel so passionately about that. It cuts deep with me. It really cuts deep with me. And I've kept quiet on a lot of things over the last couple of years or whatever, but that will be the absolute end for me. Absolute end.
Oh, Brian. Dear, oh dear. Don't say that, Brian.
Oh, no, mate, honestly, Spurs would be dead to me. Like, literally dead. I wouldn't give a fuck what happened during his tenure. I wouldn't give a fuck.
There you go. From Brian, no to De Zerbi, and Tottenham are dead if they bring him in. There you go. You heard it from the horse's mouth yourself.
And so you don't like him then?
You can crack my code. I'm so misunderstood. But you see what I say.
Even I work that out. That's a miracle.
I'll have my quick say on it because I thought about this a little bit, and whether it's right or whether it's wrong, you know, we're all like arseholes. We've got an opinion. You know what I mean? My opinion is I'm a bit with Brian. I'm a bit like, even though, and as Brian explained, I'm the same with it. You know, like he's getting on a bit, blah blah blah. But if you could have an Harry Redknapp, like Brian says, 3 days a week, whatever, couple of days a week on the important days. You know what I mean? He sets out the training plan, what he wants done, all that sort of stuff. And you know, I'd stick in there to make sure it was done how he wanted it was done. You know, I'll put in there with him. Right, big Tottenham fan. Right, I'd stick Roy Keane in there. Right, with Harry Redknapp. Harry can do the arm round the shoulder. Roy can be the one that pins him up in the corner.
Yeah, he can beat him up.
Yeah. Let him do training. Harry, you just do your paperwork, mate. We'll see you on a Saturday. Yeah, and if you want to pop down one day in the week for a bit of instruction to the players, that type of thing, whatever, you know, arm round the shoulder, Xavi Simons, butter him up a bit. You're fantastic, lad. You're one of the best players I've ever seen. I'm going to get you to go out and show it. All that, you know, all that type of buzz and all that type of thing. Get into them, because I'm telling you, that was shit last night. Fucking shit. Put some bollocks into them, right? Get someone in there who's going to stick their fist up their ass.
Whoa, okay, you're okay.
No, Brian, seriously, right?
Mate.
I've watched some crap, as you have, over the years,
yeah,
right?
Mate.
I watched Tottenham go down with Perryman and Oddle.
Yeah.
They're not shit, are they? Brian.
Master, this is what they want you to do. I'm going to say this now, yeah. When I met Daigle, yeah, I was as passionate as you.
Daigle's a
right?
leg, by the way. I'm not shouting.
No. Right. I'm going to say this now, yeah, right? It's not worth your health. This is why I stopped and I just relax now and I just come on here and I say what I have to say. It's an opinion at the end of the day. People can agree with me or they don't. It's their perception. This is why I call it the Matrix, man. I can tell you what I can say it to you, yeah, but until you see it for yourself, right, and until you see the situation for yourself, you won't get the message. And this is the thing, yeah. I stopped losing my cool. I just do it calmly and rationally. It's not worth my health. And so I just said to myself, yeah, Tottenham Hotspurs, let's take a step back and just look at it as a show, brother. It's like an episode of EastEnders, how comical it is. It's that bad, yeah, that you're just looking at it and you think, what is the next lie you're going to come out with next? Because I'll just give you the rope and let you hang yourself, you know. You might as well just get the Undertaker's shovel and go dig the grave, brother. That's how deep they keep digging it every single time a new manager comes in. You're just waiting for them to keep digging, and you just think, you know what? I'm just going to watch the show in between because I know at some point every manager will come and say the same thing. They're not a magician. This is why the best manager for me to come in here would be Dynamo. Go get Dynamo. He's a magician. You can magic up a player, brother. Because really and truly, this is what you're expecting for them to do. No manager can jump in.
Let me just jump in. I left this comment up here, Max, because I thought it was to do with you.
This is. I've been told off further down. I apologise, Shannon. This is Lisa's son's partner, and I've got no doubt the kids are watching. Right, so I do apologise for any language that come out there. As you all know, I'm very passionate, and when I get going, there's a few bombs come out. I won't use the C word or anything like that, but you know, I do go off on one now and again, and you just have to. I apologise for that, but I'm just so frustrated with this bloody club and what they keep putting everyone through, all just to line their bloody pockets at the end of the day. You know, I've said it, Brian. I went the other week. There's no cockerel on the seat.
Nope.
You know, there's nothing. When there's another event on, you wouldn't even know it was Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Of course not.
Mark walked past the boxing, yeah, when it was Ben and Eubank.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, that's the day you was at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Ben had his coffee thing. You were there, Brian, weren't you? Or weren't you? Were you in Canada then?
When?
Still, and there was loads of us there.
When?
Danny, it was back sort of. When was the first Ben and
Eubank? God knows where I was. God knows where I was. But I went around the boxing. But I'm just going to piggyback off that boxing thing. But if you bring up a comment right now from FS Ang 6:24 your time,
yeah,
where it says the snowflakes would end up. Just spot on this is. You remember when Harry Redknapp said to Darren Bent, Sandra could have finished that?
Yes.
If he said that nowadays, they'd go to the fucking top and go, they're being picked, they're being picked on and being bullied. These goddamn snowflakes. And people want to talk about the boxing. The day Philly and I went to the NFL protests, you should have seen the high road.
Oh, yeah.
There were NFL simulations, NFL giveaways, free Pepsi, the whole spectacle. No money spared because the NFL can take over the high road, do what they want.
Keep that one there, Mark.
Yeah, no, I've commented. I've responded to him. Listen,
yeah.
All I will say is very deep and very personal with me. It won't take a lot of research to look into the derby to find out why. I don't go into it. It's something I don't want to bring into it because I haven't and won't get into that kind of thing. But the derby is where I completely draw the line.
You're talking about the NFL one, yeah, but it was like gladiators. You know when you see the Travelator, there was one of those there. I was like, oh my word, this Travelator's on the floor and stuff, man. You can just stand on it, yeah, and just go straight forward. It was like high tech business. There was no mention of Tottenham Hotspurs whatsoever, yeah, on the billboards telling you to go to the stadium. That's what they call it, basically, the stadium, yeah. Right, and there were free Pepsi and be an NFL player, no expense to spend. The whole high road was closed off, dude. And I was walking down the street, yeah, like just down the main road. That's how bad it was, dude. There was just like all that level of entertainment for them. They were made to feel at home. And then when you look at Tottenham Hotspurs, it's like you're paying the highest prices in the league, yeah, for scraps off the master's table. That's how bad it is. And it's thinking, you're generating so much money, but where is the money reflected in the football team? It's not. It's not that Spurs don't spend money. They spend money. They just waste it on pure dross. And you look at it, it's like you hemorrhage what they call in the business world, because thank God, yeah, I learned business since I met you, Dago, and I have to use this now. They hemorrhage money, brother. They waste it on so much rubbish. So because we waste it on players that look enough, we end up having to buy another player for the same amount of money just to get anything out of it. It's like you sign, and the thing is, they don't learn. We wasted all this money on the pigeon, 60 million, and then we waste another 65 on one man who's at the same level, yeah, who's had one good season. So you haven't learned anything.
Brother, nothing sums up what you just said than when we sold Kyle Walker for 50 million.
Yep.
And rather than replacing him with quality, spent over 120 million pounds until we found Porro. So rather than going, right, we got 50 million, we've just left potentially the best right back in Premier League history next to Neville, leave this football club. What are we going to do to replace it? Well, first of all, we got Trippier, and we're just going to abuse him, even though he needs surgery, and throw him to the wolves. Then we're going to sign Serge Aurier. We're going to sign, what's his name? Doherty. We're going to sign Emerson. And there was one more as well, and I can't even remember. It's so shit. Then we'll find Porro.
I can't remember him.
I can't, mate. Doherty, Spence, Aurier. There wasn't Emerson, and then Porro. No, I think that's the lot. But we had to waste over double the amount of money to replace the player we sold, because it's what we do. It's what we do. We sell Harry Kane. What do we do with that money? Solanke and Richarlison. And if you put Solanke and Richarlison together, they're not even as good as Kane's weaker foot.
No.
But
I've said this, Brian. I've said this, Brian, on here, right? As soon as Pigeon come in, I said on other shows, because I think this one was going then, I said that is Kane's replacement right there. You could see it. You could see it. In both of them, you could put them in a blender and blend them together, and they still won't be fit to lace one of his boots.
Yep.
One of them.
No, but effectively, what Cookmaster's been saying for weeks here, the dilution of Tottenham Hotspurs, it fits in exactly with that narrative of over the years here. You've seen it go down and down and down. And what's the worst thing is while the quality's gone down, the prices have shot up. So, like I said before, the only winner in this whole conversation has been Enoch all along. So that's just why I just said to Brian Daigle years ago, I said, I refuse to give them any money. I'm not giving you my money. I can't stop fans from giving Enoch their money. That's their decision to give them their money. But I had to make a stance for myself of I refuse to give you any money because I don't want to justify you in the transfer market. I find you just sad, and it's like the prince and the pauper. Every time the window's closed, we've got this money, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this, and when the window opens, it's like you're the pauper. You got no money whatsoever. So, which one is it? Are you poor or are you rich? And once you've told the fans, and the thing is, dear, right, they mug us off so much that if they told the fans the truth in the first place, fans could understand, they could get a kind of a mindset, of where the club actually are. But because we don't know as fans here what the club actually are, they could charge you the earth for admission and get away with it because there's no targets. There's nothing within the club. There's no smart technique within the club whatsoever. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, as a fan, if you yourself here can't bring in a manager and you don't back him, why as a fan am I backing the manager? Because at the end of the day, you control his destiny. And if you don't want to back him, sack the manager, but don't leave him in a halfway house. And that's exactly what we do that's what they do as a club, is they leave us in a halfway house. And they've done it for years, where it suits them and not anybody else.
Sorry, I just saw Colin Crossamano's comment at the bottom there. Yeah, I think I have, Colin. it is what it is, though, mate. You know what I mean? On here, people are free to say what they think. Within reason, I don't give a toss about the watershed, right? People have got to say how they feel. And for me, I was harping on the other day about the Newcastle game that I felt that the fans, and someone put it in the comments earlier, West Ham, Man United, right? As bad as West Ham have been, they were behind them all the way. And I was the other night, the same night as we played, right? That the fans were right behind them, and they were gutted when Tesco got the equaliser, right? I pleaded on here. And Mark, you was with me, I think. I pleaded the fans in the stadium, no matter what, need to get behind the players tonight because this is bigger, than what we think about Enoch, what we think about Frank. We need 3 points. And to be quite fair, I weren't there. I had the telly turned down, obviously, because of copyright. But, I'm looking at the comments. I went on other channels afterwards, and all I'm told is that it was like a funeral parlour in there. So,
mate, a funeral parlour was noisier.
There you go. So
I
joke
about it. Sometimes say I've grated cheese and made more noise than the Tottenham Hotspur Arena. But wouldn't it be amazing that last season with Ange, when we lost to Leicester, who couldn't win a game for love nor money, beat Tottenham, and then lost the next 7 games without scoring a goal. Now teams that are on bad runs, i.e. Bournemouth, West Ham, they beat us and then go on runs where they don't lose.
Yeah.
Agreed. And the thing that bothers me now is, Brian, is when you look at West Ham, right? I don't know, they've really picked up form at the moment. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, they could get to someone, take an hammer in, it destroys their confidence again, and then they've got to start again. Yeah, but we're not in that position because we're not winning football matches.
No.
Right? So, you know, when we talk about this effect and this effect, Tottenham are doing this, getting very close to getting right down there. Yeah, because I think in the form table, we're 19th or 18th. Only Wolves are underneath us. Right? We're not winning football games. We're not eking out a 1-0 to get those 3 points. Get over to Brian, by the way, everyone.
Yeah, and Philly.
And to Philly as well. There you go.
There you
They're
go.
both in
Links
the chat.
are in twice.
But yeah, we're not getting anywhere. And these teams below us, they're picking up the odd point here. And all I've had for the last 3 weeks is, they're too far behind. Don't worry. There's no chance that all 3 of them are going to pass us. Well, Leeds are already there. Right? Forest play, is it tonight, Forest?
I think so.
I think they play tonight. If they win, I think they go above us or draw level. I mean, we're there. We're there now. We've got the Gooners in 12 days' time. As discussed, the probability of Spurs winning that game is very slim. It can happen, but it's very slim. I'd never say we can't win because you'd never know what happens in a game.
Yeah, but Cookmaster, this is like a sense of complacency within the football club. I heard this a couple of years back, right? You know when Tottenham finished 4th under Conte, I heard this. What was it now? We had Arsenal in our rear view. My man, that same season, Arsenal finished levels ahead of us, and Arsenal have never and I've heard this about Aston Villa. We have them in the rear view, but the complacency sits within the club, and then this team pass us. When you look at West Ham, right? I'm going to say this now, They bought 2 strikers, and they suffered for lack of goals, right? This is why they were down where they are. So they bought 2 strikers, and they moved Bowen back in his actual natural position, back on the right-hand side. So what they've done, is basically strengthen their team by bringing in 2 strikers and moving a player that wasn't in his natural position into his natural position. And so now you're actually seeing a manager being backed and given what he needed. So I'm not surprised. And a signing like Lucas Castaños here, we can say he's a good signing or a bad signing because I like Castaños here, and he used to play for my team Lazio, right? So I look at that and I think, a name like that, a player who's been in Europe here, comes into the dressing room, and the West Ham players will automatically, their morale will lift up because you're thinking, finally, we're going to play with somebody who's well established in Europe. And so the morale will go up anyway. And we didn't do that. We signed Conor Gallagher and Sousa. Sousa's unknown from Brazil. We don't even know how he's going to adapt to life in this country yet. He's just come off the plane. And then you've got Gallagher, who's not match fit because he hasn't played that much for Atletico Madrid. And then you're looking at that and you're thinking, West Ham have bought better than you. And they've bought actually what they actually needed in the window. Have you done that? No.
Well, let's face it, Philly.
In the form guide.
Let's face it, Philly. Gallagher was only bought because Bentancur got injured.
Yeah.
If he never got injured, we wouldn't have bought him.
And Atletico didn't want a loan deal. Atletico wanted a permanent sale.
With the board, it's always reactionary. It's reactionary all the time. Someone gets injured.
But Mark here, right?
So someone gets injured, they shit their pants and think, we better go and buy someone.
Right, Mark.
No, it's never proactive.
Most clubs here mirror their manager. That's what you see. When you see Aston Villa, you see an Emery team. When you see Arsenal, you see an Arteta team. This club doesn't mirror a manager. It mirrors the board. The board are reactive, and so are the players reactive too. So so already, it's not good because all the board have ever been is reactive in this football club. They're never on the proactive. The last time they went on the proactive was Modric. That's the last one I remember when Modric came in. We signed him before the season ended, and look how that lifted the dressing room before that signing did. But we haven't done that in years. We have to wait to the window to sign a player that's on a free. What are we doing here? We've got 6 months since the January window, since January and the summer window where you can sign players on a free. But we don't even do that.
No.
Everything has to be in the window. And then we waste the window because the last window, and I said this on your show, we didn't start till July because they said the new financial year doesn't start till July. So how many excuses are we going to hear this summer when there's a World Cup coming on? Oh, we can't do this because this player's in America, or this player's in Canada, and this player's in Mexico. You can see they're lining up excuses already for what the window will be. It'll be a shambolic window. Don't go anywhere,
Yes.
I think they're going to use plenty of excuses, Phil, when it comes to the summer. There's, 2 or 3 excuses they can use out there, probably more than that, like you say, Phil. The World Cup, no doubt we're going to be filled with, we've got the war chest for the summer. What fucking war chest? What war chest?
Man, I called Indiana Jones, bro.
We got no European football next year, or the chances are we're not going to have any European football next year. Can you see Enoch spending 300 bills on? Do you know what I mean? No chance, mate. No chance. And that's if we stay up. That's if we stay up.
But I called Indiana Jones here, see if he had a war chest, brother. He said he found the Ark of the Covenant. He said he found the Sakara stones. He even found the crystal skulls, and the Grail of the Lost Ark. But he just could not find that Spurs war chest, brother, because that thing does not exist, man. And yet he was a finder of historical artifacts, Rubai, and Indy still can't find it. So I don't think anyone else will find it too, brother. Sorry, there's no war chest.
No, it's just words, mate. It's
Amen.
just words.
Why?
If I can take you back to what I said
Go on.
half an hour ago.
Yeah.
When the stadium was virtually, the outsides had been built, they had to do the whatever. Mr. Levy appeared on the telly. Cover your ears, Brian, you don't hear that name. Right? He appeared in a video and he said, this will take us to the next level. We have the capability to spend the wages, buy the top talents, do this, do that. This is going to take us like levels. This is like, basically, he was calling it a cash machine, which it is. But you notice as soon as that stadium opened, well, a year or two after it opened, all the top earners were sold. Lloris, Sons, your Kanes, anyone else who was on a wedge at the club was sold. And they were replaced with a load of kids on 50,000 a week. Well, 50,000 is a lot of money. Let's get that in there. But it's not the levels that the new shiny stadium was meant to take us to. I always call that out on it.
Mate, a tweet's just come out.
Oh.
And it says, and I'm going to respond to it, and then I'll let you go. After Spurs painfully lost to Arsenal at the Emirates, Thomas Frank lectured his players in the dressing room about standards dropping. The very next day, multiple players, including Cristiano Romero, still turned up late for training. And I'm sorry, any other football club, any other board would see that as a warning sign and go, right, we need to step in and do something. These players are a fucking disgrace. They've done it manager under manager. When the manager's been right or wrong, since Poch, when they started going behind his back, these players will call out this manager or a manager and go, oh, he's shit and he's not doing what I need. These players are a fucking ridiculous amount of money. And I guarantee all of us in the chat, regarding our age, whatever, if we were employed by Tottenham on a 10th of those wages, we would run through a goddamn brick wall. I saw one tweet saying, because of Frank's tactics, I can only play at 10% of my capability. Bollocks! You're a professional footballer. You kick a football and you are specialist in a position. These players are bitches. These players are little grasses, and these players that have apparently turned up late to training, that is a disrespect to us fans.
Yeah.
No matter where you stand on the board, the manager, or what goes on, these players should be ashamed of themselves. Should be fucking ashamed of themselves.
This is what I said there earlier.
Romero comes out with his comment, I thank all the fans for standing by us. Well, what the fuck are you doing? Apart from calling out the board, which I do applaud you. On the pitch, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Yeah, growing up, I remember this saying, and it goes like this: yeah, players. When did the play? Right, if you're gonna say something as a player, yeah, don't do your talking in the press. Yeah, do it on the bloody pitch. That is where you do your talking, brother. I don't want to hear the people talking in the press. Oh, I can't. Oh, the board is. Do it on the pitch. Let your anger out on the pitch if you have to. Don't get yourself sent off and do something stupid like Ramman Romero. Please don't be doing that rubbish there, because that was deliberately. But what I'm saying here is, what happened to the players actually putting in the effort on the pitch? Don't do your talking in the press. Do it on the pitch. If you're big enough, yeah. Right, because we used to do this all the time, but nowadays the players run to. We heard it; they were running to Daniel Levy because they didn't like what the manager was saying. Tough. I don't want you here. If you don't like what the manager is saying, it's time for you to go. Ferguson had it at Man United at a stage. He used to say, you know what, right? Once a player grows to club here, it's time for them to go. When David Beckham had started getting an ego, he had to go. But unfortunately, yeah, this guy is so sentimental that we end up keeping these players and undermining yet another manager. And these players run the asylum now into a point where they can basically decide a manager's fate. If they don't want to play for him here, they can just down tools here and get the manager sacked. And and somewhere along the line here, that has to break, because these players now think that they can do whatever they like here, and because there's so many excuses for them, they've got a chip on their shoulder. And they don't want to do their talking on the pitch. They can just open their mouth and say something stupid and leave themselves wide open as a target. Because I looked at Romero's comments here, and I said this before, Brian, yeah, and it's a Dele Alli situation all over again of cut your hat if you want the manager sacked. Once he did that, yeah, you undermine Mourinho as a manager, because Mourinho now had no authority, and if he can get away with it, why can't other players get away with it? Romero is the captain, yeah, right? Yeah, you're goofed against the board, but if he can go out and speak out against it, yeah, what makes any other player then come out and think he can speak out about it? So again, they don't do their talking on the pitch, so they get away with it. And this is my issue with them, yeah. This is why I'll take a massive loss in quite a few of them to get rid of them, brother, because they're bad apples.
I saw another tweet. I don't know if it was a tweet or a YouTube comment. Can't remember now. I read it and I sort of brushed it to one side in your head. You know, when you read things and you think, that ain't true. You know, but I read a thing that said in team meetings that Thomas Frank kept referring to Arsenal, right? So, like, they'd be having a team meet. We need to be more like this, referring to Arsenal, you know, and apparently, and it could be all conjecture, it could be a load of shit. Yeah, it's only what I've read. And it said a lot of the players were cheesed off that he kept referencing Arsenal all the time. You know, and they took it the wrong way and so on. I don't know, but I've read that as well, to be fair. I'm just letting you know that I have read that, seen it. Don't know what you think about that.
Maybe he's...
Go on, Phil.
Well, he was caught with the mug, wasn't he? That he got stitched up, well.
Mate, we're just...
It's probably Vin I stitched him up.
The sad thing is we just keep going around in circles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've just stepped off the circle and the merry-go-round from hell for now.
Yeah.
Now it's how quickly Tottenham act to get a new manager in ready for the North London derby and see what they can do. But they'll probably prolong this and hire him like a few days before the North London derby.
I think it's Hettinger, mate, Brian.
Say again?
I think they're going to take the cheap way, mate, and I think they bought Hettinger in. Right? Honestly, I think they bought Hettinger in with the thought that Frank might get sacked earlier than he did, right? And here's another one. Apparently, they was having a bit of a spat about tactics, the pair of them. So you know that Hettinger wants to play more on the front foot. And you know, Tom's telling him like get lost.
So then, here you go. So what Spurs are going to do on the verge of relegation or being in a relegation battle? We're not going to bring in a well-renowned, well-experienced Premier League manager with experience. What we're going to do is hire a former player that's played in the Premier League that went back to Dutch football hasn't got the greatest CV from his coaching thing. Bring him in as a system, and then trust Spurs' Premier League future on an unknown manager that hasn't had 1 minute of Premier League. People can refer back to Michael Carrick at Manchester United. Michael Carrick knows that football club. Michael Carrick did very, very well at Middlesbrough. Michael Carrick managed in England. Michael Carrick knows the Premier League inside out. But here we go. Let's put all our faith in Johnny Heitinga. And I don't mean us as fans. I mean the Spurs board. Let's go for Johnny fucking Heitinga. Mate, the sad thing is, as we sit here, the sad thing is, it being the cheapest option and the most stupidest option means it's the most predictable ENIC move.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why we think it, Brian, isn't it? Straight away, we think cheap, cheerful. They're paying to get rid of Thomas Frank. Yeah. He was on a massive contract, fourth highest paid manager. Third highest paid manager in the country. You know, are his staff gone as well, Brian? Do you know?
I don't know. They haven't released that yet.
Right. So just his wages alone, whatever they'll deal with that, and he'll get a big payoff.
That's
if
how
the coaching
staff
go, that'll be another.
That's how the war chest gone on, mate.
There you go. So there's your war chest gone. So they're not going to spend money on bringing an interim in. They're not. They're just not going to. I can't see them doing it. And for me, you're right, Brian. The most likely option is John Heitinga. You know, it's the cheap way for them, and in their eyes, I suppose, he's already employed. He's already being paid, and they'll just hope that he gets us through. I don't know, Brian. I just can't. I'll say it again. I can't understand what a company that makes money. Right, that's what they're in it for. At the end of the day, they're ENIC are a company that's there to make money, right? Yeah. But they're involved in a football club that, yes, they've spent money on transfers. We are big spenders. There's no doubt about it. But someone up there, Lang, scouting, whoever it is not spending that money wisely, right? They're not getting the right player. And now we're in the position of they got no player, or they got Gallagher, sold Johnson, got Sousa. We're fucked, right? With one big choice to make now to get you out of the relegation mire or to keep you up in picking a manager to come in between now and the end of the season, or whether they get someone in permanently. And,
yeah, but just on that note, I need to go. I need to go.
I'm going to give you something. Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. I'm going to give you something just for the sheriff, because I did this morning and it's brilliant. It goes like this, right? I am so tired of Tottenham Hotspurs, I want to be Emperor Palpatine, from Star Wars, and it goes like this. The forces are congregating on the planet of Naboo, Emperor Palpatine. Wipe them out. All of them. All of them have to go. Not one. Every single department have to go. I don't want to see one person gone. I want to see every single one of them. From the Lewis family, who have to sell up, to Lang, to Vinay, to all of them. All of them are not fit for purpose. Because what will happen is another poor manager will come along, get hired, then lied to, then they'll be making them saying, we have to go for top 4, top 6 or whatever, knowing the squad's not good enough, and we'll be in the same situation. This is why I call it Jurassic Park. Because every summer, I near enough say the same thing. You haven't bought what you needed, right? And then sooner or later, as the season goes on, the T-Rex bursts from the paddock here, and you start to see the squad for exactly what it is. It's not good enough. But unfortunately, fans like me, when we say it at a time, are deemed negative. It's not negative to just put out a point of view. It's a perspective. And
it's realism, Phil.
Negative and positive, are a person's perspective. You can't get that from somebody else. That's got to come from you as a person. To look for it from somebody else here, you don't need someone's validation or someone's, that's your opinion, right? And I looked at the squad for multiple years and said this squad has been lacking in various positions, playing round pegs and square holes because we had nothing in them positions. And so after a while, yeah, it goes so tiring that I don't want to see anymore. But unfortunately, this is what unfortunately what we've been given from Enoch. And like I said, it's a cash cow, and I'm for one, yeah, ain't watching this shit, and I ain't paying for it either.
Yeah, well, listen, I really need to go because I need to do a couple minutes before joining Sava. But I will say, for all the North Americans and all the night owls back home, there will be a late night Lily White tonight at 9 p.m. Toronto time, which is 2 a.m. UK time in the morning. I will be going nuclear. I will be bringing guests on. Scott M, that's an open invitation to you, brother.
Oh, Brian, if I'm awake, can I jump on, mate?
Of course you can, brother. Of course
if I'm awake, because my sleep pattern's right up the wall at the moment, mate.
Without a doubt, just send me a WhatsApp saying, Brian, can I come on? Link me to you immediately. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be entertaining. As we all sit back and laugh at how... Danny, you're more than welcome, brother, knowing your time. Although, Danny, when I say 2 a.m. UK time, I mean the next day, is it tomorrow? Not next week, not next month. I mean Thursday morning your time. So just remember that, brother. 2 a.m. UK time tomorrow.
Thanks, Dego. Thanks, Dego. I have to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning. I have to wake up 3 a.m. in the morning to go to work. So thank you very much for doing a show at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Mate, it'll be 2 a.m. Mate, it's all good, brother. So everybody, wish you all well. Two Marks, love ya. Philly, love you. Everyone in the chat, love
ya.
Brian.
Absolute legend, that man.
Thanks for coming on, mate.
Because I've extended this, so it's and as always, Lange out, and as always, Vinay out, and as always, Lewis is out, and as always, Enoch out.
Cheers, Brian. Thanks, mate. What a
legend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen. I think that's a great point to wrap it up, to be honest with you. I've had a great show, couple of hours, plenty of people in. If you haven't subscribed, please do get over and subscribe to Phil as well. His film channel, BGOMT. Is that right?
BMGT. But sorry. Yeah, let me just say thank you very much for having me on. I've had a rousing afternoon watching the merry-go-round. Ding ding, this is the play bus kind of thing. So thank you very much for having me on, mate. And I hope to be on soon again, man. But definitely you two guys are some of the best YouTubers and some of the real ones that I get to let my hair down and just be myself. So thank you very much for having me on.
Absolutely, Phil. You're more than welcome, mate.
Smash a like and subscribe to these guys because they definitely deserve it and it helps the algorithm get out. So thanks very much.
Do you want me to give you a latest sub count before we
Yeah, we might as well. We'll have a little sub count, see where we're at.
7,
Do us a favour. Can one more person hit the like button and we get 50? If one more person can hit that like button, we'll get 50 likes. We'll have had a few subs and we're over the moon. You never know. Someone might make an appearance later on when it gets a bit quieter, if you know what I mean.
Honestly, I can't believe it. Us parable farts.
Oh, yeah,
just
mate.
Funny rambling about Tottenham, mate.
That's it, mate. It's it. But, it could be back later. I don't know if the Sheriff will. But you got work tomorrow, Sheriff?
Yeah, mate.
Oh, right. Well, it might just be me then. But I'm going to get Sheriff to set the brunch up for the morning. We'll have a bit of the brunch in the morning. If he can get on, he'll jump on. I'll be on anyway. And you never know. We might pop back later on this evening, or one of us might, or whoever. But
you might.
Hit your notification bell so you know we're coming back on. And if we don't see you tonight, we'll see you in the morning. Much love to you, Phil. Thanks very much, mate. Big up to Brian for popping on as well. Yeah. Big up to him. And as always, what can I say? The chat, you've been unbelievable. 12 days, 11 days to Arsenal. Mark, you got anything to say before I finish off?
I was going to steal Brian's thing, and as always, no, but I won't do that. That's copyright.
No, don't do that.
No, that's copyright.
Yeah, don't do that. Enoch, do us a favour. Enoch, Lang, whoever you are up there, whoever all of you are, please give us some football, people. please, 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 if you're going to do something, put some football people in and around the club and get us out of this mess.
Either that, mate. Either that. I'm going to try and do an impersonation of EastEnders.
Oh, yeah.
I won't.
I know what you're going to say.
Club.
Yeah.
Where's a drum roll when you need one?
Yeah, all out. Big up to you all. Enjoy it. If you're going over to Savers, enjoy the stream. I'm sure he'll have some good guests on. We'll see you all again soon. Thanks very much, everyone. Love to you all.
Big up.
And as always, come on.
You Spurs.
You Spurs.
Show.